Welcome to the Tea with Tamara Podcast. I'm Tamara Arnold, and it wasn't that long ago that I was a broke single mom drinking way too much, completely detached from everything. Now I've written multiple books, downloaded I Could Read Chakras, and I'm a channel for the universe. I'm a real person with real stories, and I can't wait to share them with you. So grab a warm bevy and let's have some enlightened conversation to live our best life. Good morning, magical beings of love light. Tamara here. It is Christmas Eve today. I am legitimately recording this on Christmas Eve morning. I took last week off work and it was divine. I won't lie. Having the week of winter solstice and the full moon off with the meteor shower and all the energy swirly whirling about was like the best decision that I knew I needed to make before I knew I needed to make that. And by that, I mean like about 2 weeks prior to the week, I was like, I need to take that week off. And I told my assistant she was having the week off and we just kind of booked it. And, you know, we know things before we know them. And I am so grateful to having this time to kind of come back into my internal self and into my internal being. And today, on this magical Christmas Eve, I want to share something that I talked about at the beginning of the month in the retreat that I ran for the Magical Mastermind, with a very important kind of message. And it came through so strong this week. Like, oftentimes, you guys, as a highly sensitive empath, I receive downloads on what I need to do. So I'll just like hear, see, sense, or know what it is that I need to talk about or to share, or if I'm connecting collectively to who will be listening to the podcast, I will know instinctually, intuitively what needs to be shared. And so coming into today's podcast, something that I had talked about at the beginning of the month with the mastermind was this understanding that we as human beings only have a certain amount of energy each day that we can disperse to external sources outside of ourselves. So the way that I describe it is I was having the conversation with the group on finding out what your priority people were in your life. Priority instances, priority people, ways in which you were going to deposit your energy throughout the day with intention, with knowing that you can't deposit your energy to everything and everyone because it will leave you completely depleted. So I was describing that my priority people in my energy deposit bank, if you will, were the people that I'm here to serve, so my clients and you guys listening and all of that, because holding space and creating and doing emails and social media posts and all that, that requires a fairly sufficient energetic deposit out into the universe to maintain or to hold that energy at a certain level. And then I said that right now, my other priority person or people were my two daughters, because my stepdaughter was going through and is going through some skin stuff. And my biological daughter, she is going through some emotional stuff as a highly sensitive empath, such as myself, and only 13 in grade 8. You can only imagine if you remember what that felt like. I remember grade 8 really, really well. I was obsessed with a guy named John Hines. If you're listening, John Hines, I was obsessed with you because I was explaining it to my now husband that as a highly sensitive and an empath, everything is extreme emotionally. And he was the first guy that I super crushed on. So, I mean, I have my grade 8 journal that I've read out loud to my family, and I crushed on John Hines the entire year because it was like everything is magnified for us. But that's a side story. Getting back to, this energetic output that I have, or you have, or we all have throughout the day, and being very conscious about where we are choosing to place our energy. So I was explaining that, you know, my clients and my two daughters are where I am placing my deposits of energy throughout my day right now. So with my daughters being over there, it means that if something were to happen throughout the day, if the schools are to call, if they need me, if they ask me for something or anything goes on, then they receive pausing life, whatever needs to be done in order to make sure that their needs are met. And my clients, right? And so I'd explained that my husband had been on my priority list, but he is now talking to somebody outside of me in a way in which he's getting some emotional support and some support for his internal being, that I no longer need to keep him in my priority list because somebody else has taken him in, right? And, I was talking about my family isn't on my priority list, like my biological mom, dad, sister, things like that, because there's just no way that we can wake up with a certain allotted amount of energy in a day and deposit it to everything and everyone in the world and be able to accomplish anything of great consistent nature or of a high frequency or vibration out into the world. And so I had everybody kind of thinking about this and thinking about if you woke up with a full energetic tank and you had to, got to choose where you were depositing your energy each and every single day, what would be your priority? And so people were working on it and somebody raised their hand and they were like, Tamara, I'm confused. And I said, what are you confused about? And she was like, I believe that I'm confusing priority with love. This was it, you guys. This is what gets us caught in the ability not to have clear boundaries with ourselves, with others, our ability to just, feel that we are responsible for others, for their emotional well-being, their happiness, their how they show up in the world and all those kinds of things. And this is because we confuse the love that we have for somebody as the automatic we need to deposit all our energy into making them a better person, making sure that they're okay, doing all the things for them as being how we love them. And they are not the same in any way, shape, or form. And I think that this is a really important thing to share and to talk about, especially as we're going into Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, family events, all these kinds of things. Because the fact of the matter is, just because I say I don't deposit all my energy into my biological family, my friends, my husband, all that, it doesn't mean I don't love them. Man, do I love them. I love them with every cell of my body from the tip of my toes to the top of my head. Loving them is an automatic emotion that I feel towards them without having to expend energy to prove it to them. And so by knowing that to the deep core of my being, I can then, pull all my energy back in and say, oh no, I know I love them. I can send waves of love from my heart chakra to them consistently throughout the day without taking energy to do so. Okay, because when we're breathing in love and we're exhaling love, it is just part of our energetic breath. But when it comes to actually taking action or creating or carving time out in the day to accomplish a result or an outcome for those who are in our priority pool, the people that we are expending our energy or taking action on, inspired action on a daily basis to create something of a far greater magnitude, such as a business or writing a book or creating a podcast such as this one or doing all these things. If I were to be thinking about all the things I had to do for all the other people, I wouldn't be sitting here on Christmas Eve recording this podcast with all my energy placed into the people who are listening who needed to hear this message today. Because my mind, my body, and my energy would be elsewhere. So the thought process for today, you guys, is you're really kind of sinking into all the things we need to do over Christmas and all the places we need to go and all the, people we need to help and support and care for and all those kinds of things. Just know that you as a human body have a certain amount of energy that you wake up with every single day. And we are automatically loving individuals. We are automatically children of the universe here in this physical body as beings of love light. It requires no energy to be this and to love. Okay? It requires no energy to just be in the essence of love. We can share love and be love and express love with no energetic exchange. When it comes to actually creating something in our life, in our world, that requires momentum, that requires energy exchange, deposits of energy, all those kinds of things. And so we want to maintain that we keep ourselves as full as we possibly can to be of the greatest service that we possibly can. And so getting really aware of where we're depositing our energy in a way that we are creating or manifesting the unknown into the known reality in front of us, then we have the ability to shift from feeling like we have to deposit to our loved ones into knowing that we can love them without proving our love to them, just being in the state of love, pulling our energy back into our energy bank and depositing it into the areas of our life that require the most attention and the most inspired action in order to really shift the lives of those that we are placed on this earth to shift. And that, friends, is the magical Monday message for this beautiful, I'm trying to think, is there one more? Yeah, I think New Year's Eve is the last magical Monday drop. So I will be back on New Year's Eve with a really special message for you guys. And I just want to throw out here that I'm going to be dropping a podcast with Amber Lillystrom, who I absolutely love and adore. And it was 11/11 when I said that on my recording this Thursday. And in it, we have a conversation about something that we can do on New Year's Eve to really put our year in perspective and to set an intention for 2019. And lastly, this coming Friday, the 28th, I'm actually hosting a class if you would like to participate in it. On Monday, I did a 12-month Oracle card spread with my moon deck. Now I have 21 decks or more than 21 decks. So of Oracle cards, but I captured them in a beautiful, well, it's a template really. And, cause I love bullet journaling and doing those kinds of things. And so it just happened that I was recording my building of it on Insta stories, and some people were like, oh my goodness, I love this. Would you like share how you did this with us? And so I've actually created a masterclass, for that Oracle card 12 month spread and a Facebook group and things like that. And I will put the link to join us next Friday, the 20th, or this Friday, holy moly, this Friday, the 28th. And so if you're interested in doing that, just click that link and sign up, and you'll get the template and some really cool things leading up to Friday as we do a closing ceremony for 2018 and open up intention for 2019 as well. Well, Merry Christmas, you guys. I love you, and I am so honored and grateful to be able to spend this time with you. And I hope you have the most highly energetic holidays ever, now that you know about where you are expending or depositing your energy into the world. I love you. Merry Christmas.